Welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. You know, good food is a way to connect with others and create great memories. And hundreds of people have bought my cookbooks as I have catered weddings and events over the years. And now I'd like to become your personal cooking coach and help you make great food step by step from scratch. And I will post a new video every week, twice a week. Thank you. In today's video, we're going to be making pigs in a blanket. And as you've noticed, we've had a thread of bread doughs and roll doughs that we have been making in the last few weeks. And this fits in nicely with another way to make a fresh dough that you can serve something for dinner for your family. The children especially love it. But let me tell you a little story about why I'm even sharing this video with you today. I catered my son's wedding a few years ago, and we decided, since there were going to be many children at the wedding, that we would go ahead and plan a menu item that would fit for the kids that we knew they would like. And for years I've been making my own dough to make my own pigs in a blanket. My husband absolutely loves them, but I knew a few adults would like them too, so we made plenty for everyone. So we went ahead and served these to the children, but many of the adults tried them and they just all came back to me saying, please make more of these. These are our favorite item. So I'm just letting you know that I have served these at weddings since that time, and they are a huge hit. So whether it's at home with your family, or whether it's for a special occasion, or even perhaps at a football game or for Super Bowl, something like that, it's going to be a treat wherever you serve it. Okay, to get started, let me show you how what we're going to serve it with. We have what we're going to use to serve. 3½ cups of white flour or bread flour, either one will work for this recipe. 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I've got 2/3 of a cup of hot milk. I've put this in the microwave to heat up because I want it to dissolve with my 1 teaspoon salt, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, and then I also have 1 egg beaten ready to go in as well. And you can see I have my yeast rising right now. It's a tablespoon of yeast. That would be like basically one of these packets right here inside of here, along with a little bit of sugar in 1/3 of a cup of water. And it's been raising here for about 5 minutes. It's not very much, but you don't need very much for this recipe. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and put the milk in here. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of the salt and the sugar. And I want to just go ahead and dissolve that in the warm milk. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is add my butter. And I'm also going to add my egg. Okay. And I'm going to stir this up a little bit more. And I'm going to add a couple of cups, or actually just half a cup at a time here. Actually, about a cup right now of the flour that we're going to be using. I'm just going to mix this up a little bit so you can see it easier. The reason I'm doing that is I always add a little bit of flour to the mixture before I add the yeast, because I want to make sure the yeast isn't going to be too hot in case my milk was going to be too hot. So the temperature is going to be about right now, and I'm going to go ahead and add the water and yeast. So basically you've got 1/3 of a cup of water, 2/3 cup of milk. It works out to be a cup of liquid that will be in this mixture. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this now and put it on my Breville mixer with the dough hook. So it's already been mixed by hand a little bit, but now we're going to start kneading pretty quickly. I'm going to put it down and I'm going to stop talking so I can show you how we're mixing it in a little bit at a time. I want you to see the dough in the machine, in my Breville. It's been about 5 or 6 minutes. As you can see, it's totally cleaned the bowl. I did not use all the flour that I needed because I see that it would just add more flour when it wasn't needed. So I'm going to turn it off now. Okay, lift up my lid here and scrape off my dough hook. I'm going to take it out of my bowl for just a minute. and just shape it into a ball here. The main reason I'm doing that, now you can see how much flour I had left that we really didn't need to add. So when it cleans the bowl and it's just kneading nicely, you don't want to add more flour than you need. That's a mistake a lot of people make. They read a recipe that says, oh, 5.5 cups flour. Very rarely do I use all of that 5.5 cups unless I put extra liquid in it. And they say, why don't my rolls turn out like yours? And I go, because you got to watch your dough to see exactly how much, depending on the temperature, the humidity, all of that. So you can see I'm still not adding very much dough. It's in a nice little ball right now. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of oil, like I do, and put it in the bottom of my pan, my bowl. I'm going to reuse the same bowl to raise it. I'm going to turn it over and make sure the top of the dough is nice and moist with the oil. That's just a vegetable oil. Now you can see what it looks like now and what it'll look like in about an hour when it's raised, and we'll start rolling out our pigs in a blanket. We just took our dough. I actually proof my dough in my oven. I have a proofing button to use, so it keeps the oven a little bit warm. And you can put it on the countertop and works just as well, but if it's not very warm in your room, it'll take a little bit longer to raise. So we have doubled the size of our dough that we had at the beginning. You can see I'm going to go ahead and punch it down right here and remove it and take it out of my pan. And I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my pastry cloth. Okay, if you've seen any of my other bread videos, you'll know that I really like using a pastry cloth and a French rolling pin with a stockinette on it. When I put a little bit of flour on it like this, it keeps it from having too much flour put into your dough when you're rolling it out. I'm going to actually cut this dough in half right now because we're probably only going to use part of it today because we don't have enough hot dogs to use. But so we're going to start making our pigs in a blanket. And I'm just going to roll it like this a little bit out here into a circle. Now let me tell you, there's different ways you can make this. If you have really large hot dogs, that we don't have the big large ones, I've gone ahead and put sharp cheddar cheese in the middle. You can see how that looks. It doesn't go all the way through because when it melts into your dough, it's so delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it in half here. And then I'm going to cut it here. And then I'm going to cut it here. And here. Okay. So we're just making some little triangles now, and some are bigger than others. I'm going to take my pigs in a blanket, my little hot dogs, and I'm going to roll them like this. And I'm going to put them on my tray. These are all going to raise for about half an hour once I'm finished with them. So I'm going to take each one. I like a lot of dough on here because when it raises, you get big puffy dough on it. It's delicious. So the dough is really one of the favorite parts of the whole thing because it just makes it like you're having a really special hot dog bun. You can see I'm making a little bit thicker than maybe you'd think, but I'm letting these all raise right here. You can cut them a little thinner if you want. A little thinner so you don't have such a thick dough. Okay, we've let our pigs in a blanket raise for about half an hour. And as you can see, they're not all just perfectly sized. Usually when I make this recipe for a crowd, I make the dough a lot thinner. But since we had extra dough today, I made big globs of dough for each one. So it'll be even tastier. So they look a little different every time. So here we're going to put them, we're going to put them into the oven for 15 minutes, 15 to 18 minutes. We'll check them in 15 minutes to see if they're nice and light and golden. Okay, we've taken out our pigs in a blanket from the oven. They took a little bit longer than the 15 minutes because I had a lot of dough wrapped around it. As you can see, the cheese is all melted. The hot dogs are ready to go. For kids or even adults, just regular mustard and ketchup is what people like to serve. But at weddings, when I've done this in the past, I've actually served a kind of a cream cheese, softened cream cheese, a little bit of spicy Dijon mustard, about 2 tablespoons of honey, about a tablespoon of the mustard, half of it being of cream cheese, 4 ounces of cream cheese, because I'm not making a lot tonight, and just a little bit of cayenne pepper to give it a little bit of zip. And I'll show you how you can use that as a dipping sauce. So you just take your hot dog, it's got the cheese, the nice fluffy bread, and you just dip it in you're not going to double dip it, of course. You're going to put a little bit on your plate, and it's so delicious. Thank you for watching my videos. As your personal cooking coach, I'm here to guide you along the way and give you tips to make the recipe successful. Please post a comment below with any questions, suggestion, or requests for new items you would like me to teach. And let me know how the recipe works out for you.